What is up? We got to dive in. The markets, man, starting to make some exciting movements. We're going to talk about this. I got some incredible charts, so we got to break down. We got a guest popping in again today. I'm bringing you everything that you need to see. I'm bringing the different voices from around the space. I'm bringing you the charts. I'm bringing you the signals. I'm bringing you the trades. I'm bringing you the tools, the resources, everything you need to make sure that you can dominate in this market, because this market is setting up for something special. If you're tuned in right now, make sure you show some love. Hit that retweet button on the Twitter live stream that we got going on right now. This is dual streamed on YouTube and Twitter. So even when you see 10 people, 30 people, 40 people, whether you're on Twitter or YouTube, usually it's several hundred into the thousands across the multiple streams. And that's because we're bringing you all the information that you need to see. Unbiased looks at what's going on in this market. So hit that retweet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. I don't know what happened to my countdown. Let me go ahead and adjust that. We got to make it shorter because we're getting going here in just a moment. Let me go ahead and put that down to 2 minutes. Boom. Yeah, we're going to be getting going here in just a second. So as that's happening, I love you guys. Big special love, prayers, shout out to our girl, Tater, going in for some surgery today. So I want to send her love. Is it really starting, or do we need another healthy pullback? We're going to talk about that. We got some great things going on in the market, some concerning things. But with that, let's get the vibes going. Let's talk about what's happening in this market, because the time is now. We've got to pay attention. So absolutely, let's go.
Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. SEC and its policies rely on whatever Gary thinks. Bitcoin's a flight to quality. I heard that from Larry Fink. Every hour losing purchasing power on foolish shelter. It's not our fault. Blame the coal. It's the political cowards. When it comes to gas, our purchasing power just got cut in half. I sit back and laugh, open my bag, fill it with stacks and sats. Bitcoin, pumping, altcoins, pumping. I've been prepared for this. Can't tell me nothing.
And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a flight to quality. We are hearing from clients around the world.
Bitcoin, altcoins, I've been prepared for this.
And I believe crypto will play that type of role as
Bitcoin, altcoin,
we are hearing from clients around the world.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
Crypto, depending on how you think about it. And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a
Can't
flight
nobody
to
tell me
quality.
nothing. Bitcoin,
We are hearing from clients around the world.
prepared for this.
The time is now. We got to dive in. Everybody, let's get into this. Let's talk about these markets. Let's go. Friends, family, countrymen, big love to each and every single one of you. Special shout out to our girl Tater. It's about to be rolled into surgery, sitting there on her phone, staying tuned in. Everybody send some love and prayers her way. I've had over 80 surgeries, so I sent her a message and said, just make sure you keep your mind right, stay positive, keep focused on just gratitude and love. It really does have a big impact on your health, especially when you're about to be rolled into surgery. So big love to you, my friend, my sister, our family here in crypto. We got to talk about what's going on now, because was yesterday just a massive washout? What do we see? Massive washout coming back up. We've overtaken this trend line, which is the neckline of this shoulder, head and shoulders. Was this a fake out? Is there more to the story? Well, let's dive in a little bit deeper. We got some incredibly bullish charts we have to look at today, but it also depends on the time frame you're looking. Is the time now? The time is absolutely now. What are you doing? How are you doing it? What's your position? What's your time frame? Are you emotional and reacting here, just giving your money away to people that have a better plan That's the question right now, because what we see is Bitcoin breaking down. See these purple candles. This is on the BitLab Trading Stack, our in-house indicators that we built. These purple candles, as you see right here, it'll turn back just to, this is essentially the red candles, bearish candles. The purple candles show a huge amount of selling. A bit of a washout there, a bit of a forced move. Stopping candles showing here, stopping volume, yellow, moves back up above this basically dynamic resistance zone, above the trend signal line. We can see this bouncing then on this EMA ribbon. Bullish divergences suggesting continuation. This is on the 24-minute time frame. And then look at this. We get this filled out showing a stronger support zone. Bullish continuation signal right here with two more bullish divergences continuing up. Now we have a lot of buying coming in. And some of this, I think, is some of those forced liquidations that we saw on the downside. And now we're seeing these forced liquidations getting pushed on the upside. I was in a trade a second ago. Oh, no, I'm not stopped out yet. So down a little bit, but that's okay. I just took 2 trades in a row. Very small trades. It's, about $200. I try to keep a small amount in this account because I can degen. But I make sure I protect myself. This is nowhere near any percentage basis of my portfolio. But we took 2 trades. One of those trades was down. One of those trades was down here on a move here on this breakout. Another one was right here on this breakout. And we are currently in the middle of a bull flag. I'm actually going to move this down because we've been seeing continuations on these bull flags on the way up. But we're going to talk more about that in a few minutes. We got a guest coming in here. I got some incredible charts that we are going to be going through, and I'm going to talk about what's going on in this market. So every single one of you, shout out to my buddy Rick if he's watching. Drop a comment there in the live chat. My buddy Moby, it's his birthday today, and he is one of the, if not the best businessman I've ever known on multiple different sectors. And he is a monster trader, investor. He is truly a whale in this space. So I don't know if he's tuned in. I know we were talking before this, but big love to you, buddy. Happy birthday. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. And if this is your first time here, welcome. I can guarantee you this is not going to be your last time. My name's Kellam, director of BitLab Academy. And I'm here to bring you that alpha, to tell you what's going on in this market, because we're seeing green. Does this mean it's only up from here? Is the time now? It is. Does that mean we're not going to have chop? No, it does not. This market needs to chop because that is how we build the stairway to heaven. We want to build price structure on the way up. We don't want what's known as inefficiencies, which are just big ass candles, especially on smaller time frames. And by smaller time frames, I mean anything under the 3-day. We want to see price work its way up, and that could be boring for you. And I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. This is the best performing asset class in history. If this is moving too slow for you, get the hell out of this market because this is not for you. We've been consolidating 7 months. It feels like it's never going to end. But I'm telling you right now, that is the most bullish case that we have seen in any sort of preceding, the foreshadowing, the run up before we have that parabolic trend. So let's talk about it. Is there I can't remember his name, isotophic or isomorphic, phobic. Is it time now? I do think we are getting right onto that moment. And what moment is that? That is, look at this. Bitcoin, let's actually refresh the page. We're back up, sitting here around $2.17 trillion. Bitcoin's about just under $62,000. Ethereum, 24. We're seeing some wonderful things. You can see it on this bubble chart. This is on the hour. Let's look on the week. We're seeing, it's a little bit of that resurgence with the meme coin market, which is interesting because all the news we just have come out regarding what's going on with FBI. And I think that is positive, getting a little bit more tightening of the reins of some of the bad actors that are out there that are just really manufacturing the market to take your money. That's one of the reasons why I primarily focus on those top coins. I take a couple micro cap coins in there that have incredible fundamentals like Constellation DAG and Aether and a number of other coins that we've shared on this channel. But we need to talk about what's going on. The market completely crashed yesterday. So what does it mean? And these are those 2 trades I just took this morning. I took a trade right here on this breakout of this zone. I moved the stop loss well up in profit, closed out at 20%. And then almost immediately after that, once this came down, I saw on the 4 hour for the first first part considering this. The 4 hour was suggesting strength was coming in. So I looked down to the 5 minute and I figured out where I wanted to take an entry. I did. It came down, closed me out, but then there was a bull flag that formed out of that, and I traded this breakout, got to basically move this up into profit, got closed out of that, also in profit, and then I re-entered. I might have been closed out now. Yeah, I got closed out of this one, which is fine. Making some moves on the way up. I do want to shout out, if you haven't yet, look right down below this video. If you're on YouTube, hit that like button. Watch this little area right here where it says subscribe. Make sure it says subscribe. Make sure your bell is ticked right here. Click all. And if you want to join our free traders group, it is right here. Here's a link. It gives you all the 3-step process. All you got to do is go through those 3 steps. They're very easy. It's just signing up to CoinW. It's no KYC, no VPN required. You may get a warning. These are all just required things you can just confirm, utilize, trade at your own risk. But this is one of those things we want to make sure you know how to do this and you do it in the right way. I don't want you guys out there risking more than you can afford. And then again, remember, there's so many different scams and everything going on all over the crypto space and everything, not just crypto, just identity theft, record theft, so much going on. Make sure you take advantage of this while we have it. It's a new partner we have, NordVPN. You get 4 months free signing up right here, and it's a great way to help support the channel. So let's talk about what we want to talk about. We got 124 people in the room right now. We'll probably get a couple hundred more here in the next few minutes. People tend to trickle in, but let's talk about it. You're here first. I'm here to give you the goods, so let's talk about it. Boom, right here. BTC, Bitcoin long liquidations. This is those quick moves I was talking about. Forced buying or forced selling. In this case, these are longs. So if they're derivative option, basically these leveraged plays long, in order to close them, they either are forced to close at a loss, which means to sell, or they are forced closed by liquidation because it goes beyond the threshold that gives them the window. It's beyond what they're able to maintain the position. So they're forced to sell. And we see 290 million during the recent drop in sales. And this is important because this marks the largest total amount of long liquidation since June 2022, a span of 28 months. Now, why is this important? Because if you look at this date right here, this is August 5th. This was that massive washout. And look at how much this dropped August 5th. This was scary, but look at how much leverage was washed out in these liquidations. We just outpaced the living hell out of this all the way since back here in, as we said, June 2022. So we're starting to get a little bit of the cleansing of the space. We do not want, the market cannot substantiate and maintain, these exchanges cannot have every single person out there or the majority leverage long on 30X and actually let the price continue to go up. Whether it's them not letting it or just the fact of how these structures work in markets, when you have a disproportionate number of people going long, other people see that. Traders, market makers, big money, seeing these free liquidity pools, which is why we talk about these liquidation zones on these charts all the time. And I brought it up. Here's the 2-week chart. We can see, was it really some big issue? Let's go ahead and zoom in on this. All these big drops we've had in the last, look at this. All this liquidity below us. This came up and scooped this above, and now it comes down, stair steps to the downside, scooping the liquidity below. It cleared it out. Okay, no more free liquidity. Now let's go up and scoop the liquidity above. That is why we want to pay attention to these charts. Is it going to be exactly accurate? No, but it can show you where the liquidity, AKA the magnets for likely price to move in these directions, is going to be. So when we come back over and we look and we see all these liquidations, doesn't mean the market is fully to that health check yet to where we get sort of max capitulation, but it does suggest that we're doing the work that's needed to sort of bring down some of that open interest so the market can move in a healthy way. Now, continuing on, let's hit that like button. Remember, what do we do when we see content online on social media? We engage with it so people continue to put it up. So let's just all do our part today. And if you're looking at content on Twitter, on YouTube, if you're watching this right now, just remind you, show some love. Come over here to the page. If you're on YouTube or Twitter, right here. Hit that retweet button, hit that like button. Remember, today is Friday, so it is Giveaway Friday. Show some love. Share this out with your friends and family. This is what gets you entered to win. And I'll say right now, if we get over, we got 154 people watching. So if we get over 20 retweets today by the end of the stream, I will do a double giveaway, and I will pick one of those winners from today's retweets. And in fact, I will ask right now, let's do it. Let's make it random. Everybody, put in a number between one and 6. First number I see is the number I'm going to use as a first number. And somebody else put in a number between 15 and 30. Let's see what those two numbers are. That's going to be what helps us determine who these winners are, so we can make sure it's random and it's defined by you all. Now, continuing on, you have to do some housekeeping there. I want to make sure you all get the ability to participate in these giveaways. Now, manifesting a win, says Chris Pfaff. Now, continuing on, this is what I was talking about. People chomping at the bit to get leverage, get these leverage longs flushed on a stair step to the downside. This is that boom, stair step. All right, 3 is the first number. I'm just paying attention to both things at once. Thank you, Falco. And 24. We got the numbers. Boom, boom, boom. Awesome. Now let's get over 20 retweets on today's stream on Twitter. Let's show some love. Let's get activated, and let's make sure we can give away a double giveaway today. Now, stepping down, but look at this. This is what I'm interested in. We have a huge level. This was yesterday, mind you. And what did we just see this morning? I wasn't forecasting this. The data was showing the magnet below is gone, meaning the next gravitational force on price action was to the upside. Well, what did we see today? We saw the price action push up to 62 into about 62.2, which is going to be right up in the zone. And we can see this on the price action. Where are we at? 62. Where did this push up to? 62.3 in this zone. So let's get back out here. So this is pushing up into the zone. We want to see this kind of clear some of this out as well. Will it have the juice? Well, let's ask ourselves the question. What does the data say? Who gives a living shit about what the price is right now? Stop being so myopically focused. It's an ego thing. It's a fear thing. It's a hope thing. What you'll want to look to is what the big money players are doing, what the things are in the data that are going to trigger emotional responses so that you can make the proper moves. So what are they showing? Well, we got that. We did this. This is me. Now, right here, larger stablecoin balances on exchange are positively correlated with higher Bitcoin prices. What the hell does that mean? Since January, USDT ERC20 balances have grown 146%. Okay, so larger stablecoin balances positively correlated with higher price. Okay, now what is this? Balances have grown 146% since January, from 9.2 billion to 22.7 billion. The fuel for the fire is here to light this sucker, to burn this fucker to the upside. What does that mean? People are deploying US dollars or other fiat currencies. They're moving it into stable coins. That can be seen. It is a correlation. It's a little bit of a stretch, but it's a pretty strong correlation with people preparing to deploy capital in the market. It doesn't mean they're doing it today, but it shows over the period since January, there's a 146% increase in the amount of stable coins, basically dry powder on the sidelines. We got our guest here. We're going to be bringing him on in here in about 3 or 4 minutes. But let me go get him set up. But this is just showing that foundational support of likely higher prices brewing. Okay, the strength is coming in. What else? Why did we drop? It's the U.S. government selling, right? Well, here we go. No, it's not the U.S. government. The selling pressure isn't directly coming from Silk Road Bitcoin. The address still holds basically that amount, 69,370. So let's get rid of that narrative. Is it a fear? Sure, it's a fear. But what happened? We had Germany sell. We had the Mt. Gox distributions. We've had billions and billions dropped on this market. And what have we seen since January to now? Where astronomically higher than we were in January, especially considering last January, 15,500. Now we're still trading in the $62,000 range. Guys, why do we get so myopically focused and triggered by the noise while we are hanging out in the most bullish asymmetrical position that we've ever been in crypto, with the foundational and institutional support behind it? Could they do something because they want more, trigger lower prices? Sure. But you're going to be there for it. I'm going to be there for it. And there's going to be so many people that get left behind. The question is, are you going to get left behind because you don't have a plan or because you're chicken shit, weak paper hand? No, we're talking serious today because these markets are serious and there's people that are worried right now. And I'm here to tell you, this is the time. This is the moment. Do you have the courage to have a better future, or are you going to relegate yourself to how you've lived your entire life? No, it's time for change. It's time for now. It's time for data. What else is there on the data front? Okay, well, let's look. Is it about to get worse? Okay, this could be volatile soon. Okay, I'm so scared. What does that mean? This is from JA_Martin. Make sure you're giving him a follow. But Bitcoin sits in a 224-day old range. This is that 7 months that we were talking about since March 13th. Despite the recent drop, taker selling volume continues to decline. Okay, let's do some TA. Let's look at some, looking at what's going on. This is a selling pressure. Look at the basically rising level of support that's come up. Now, it's not going to be exact, but we see a much deeper dip, a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller. Look, this looks like it's actually accelerating in the sort of withdrawal of the selling pressure that's on these markets. This is incredibly bullish. At minimum, it is weakening the resolve of the data of the bears getting stronger. Now, does that mean we can't get a washout? No, it doesn't. And if that does happen, because we saw it in March 2020, massive V shape, and it turned out to be the best buying opportunity of the year. So I think I'm leaning more and more against the likelihood of having that washout. But again, I'm here for it. Overall, we are setting up for Ultra Bull, and it is the time is now. Okay, about one more minute. We got our guest coming on. Just in China. How is it less bearish, Kelly? I'm so scared. Well, investors expect 283 billion new stimulus this weekend. More money, aka more gas to put on the fire, and you're bearish. What are you talking about? And by the way, we just had bar chart on yesterday on our weekly Crypto Answered. And yes, it is back. We are doing it every Thursday. We had bar chart and BAM Investor. So make sure you tuned into that. It's on my wall. You can still re-listen back to it. But this is fuel for the fire. Druth says, can they stimulate Bitcoin for me, though? It's coming, baby. Maybe we'll ask him about that later on today. And we can see right here, whales buying and all this. I talked about this yesterday. Just got to re-highlight. This is a graph that shows it. The 330,000 Bitcoin mark. And these are whale wallets over 1,000 Bitcoin. This has increased in this period, $1.5 million. In your bearish. And then here we go with the dip and rip setup. We got the dip, getting people committed short. We're back up above in this zone. Even if we get a little dip here, can you imagine? If you understand structures in this market, you should be wanting a dip here, because if we get a dip here and find support, that is a beautiful inverted head and shoulders reversal pattern. But we got to take it day by day. We got to be prepared in every adjustment that comes here. And then, of course, CPI data, PPI data, alphabet bullshit nonsense. Okay, we're at 2.3, 2.4% inflation. Throw that nonsense out the window. Here's what you're really dealing with. Price increases over the last 4 years. Medicals up 8%, used cars up 12%, apparel up 13%, new cars up 20%. Food at home, things are only 2% more expensive, right? They got it under control. 22%. Shelter up 23%. Food away from home, 25%. You see these numbers. Fuel and all. You got a Bitcoin. You got to prepare for your future, because this is the only way out. Yes, you can invest in other assets, and I recommend it. But when you're looking at what is going to actually be agnostic of all these pressures and the puppet master pull string, you got to stand up for yourself. And then this again, I just wanted to highlight this chart I showed yesterday. This is that parabolic, basically uptrend channel. This is a bull floor band and the bull control band. We reject on it, we consolidate, and then we break out. We reject on it, we consolidate. We had a washout here, black swan, couldn't account for it. But the two previous cycles before that, you see this did hold above, basically at the bull floor band. We got the washout there, but then consolidated in that range to break out. What do? Reject, consolidate. The next move, whether we get a washout or not, this, I would argue, this parabolic uptrend is coming. So with that being said, and this is the same metric, by the way, same metric. I found this yesterday. Somebody shared. This is my chart as well. I basically created an on-chain metric that is on looknode.com about 2 years ago. And this is a Scandinavian monkey, one of the people from Looknode, posted. It says, history is always surprisingly similar. And what is this? This is my metric. This is the same metric that I just showed you, but with there's different bands you can do. And this was a long-term holder, the realized price, and the short-term holder. When these consolidate, boom, rocketing soon, rocketing soon. Look at this. This is that first impulse up, that first impulse down. This was the start of the bull market, and this was called perfectly by the same metric. So is the same metric here going to suggest that's going up? So with that being said, everybody hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell. Make sure you're heading over to my page right here at Kelly Kellam. And I want you to make sure we're at 13, get up above 20. We're doing a double giveaway. Hit that retweet, hit that like button here on the Twitter. And with that being said, we got our guy, our main man, the guy that got the plan here for every American patriot, as well as what's happening in the crypto market. Mr. Drucifer,
Hey,
how you doing? How you feeling? Thanks for being here,
dude,
buddy.
I'm feeling great, man. Thanks for having me on. And I was loving listening to what you're saying. It's, something I was just thinking about in relevance to what you're talking about on Bitcoin's strength that we're seeing, this washout. I do agree with you in a pretty big way. Very healthy to see that washout happen, to wash away all the over leveraged positions. But one thing that I did notice is that the altcoin sector is starting to care less and less about the big pullbacks. And that is a very healthy sign for me in my mindset of looking for an altcoin season, really. I felt less negative effects yesterday after the Bitcoin pullback in relevance to the altcoins. And really looking at this, now we're seeing the altcoins pump so hard. Like Tau is already above $600 again. SWE is trying to break out and go into price discovery at trying to get above that $2 realm that it's at. But these altcoins are showing extreme signs of strength, and that is very exciting for me, myself particularly. And I know a lot of people that I know hold altcoins, more altcoins than Bitcoin. Me, myself, I'm heavily into altcoins right now. I'm a Bitcoin maximalist during the bear market, and now I'm well positioned in the altcoin sector. And I just feel like that time frame of an alt season is right around the corner. Seeing the altcoins pull back less and less each Bitcoin dip, seeing the strength gather within the altcoin sector, regardless of Ethereum sitting here driving people nuts. I mean, we have Pith up 8% today. We have ASI up nearly 9%, Arweave. I mean, a lot of really good tokens are showing really, really good signs of strength. So I'm pretty darn excited on the altcoin season as well. And at large, I don't know where you stand on this, but I feel like the markets are kind of just on standby-ish mode, just crab market mode until we get past the election. But historically, right around the end of November, beginning of December is where we saw Bitcoin dominance fall off a cliff and the altcoins started having a party. Kelly, do you
want to see something? Hey, check this. I don't know if you can see it because I know you're doing it through your phone. But
I can see it.
I did the Bitcoin dominance. Check this out. BTC.D minus USDT.D. So I'm subtracting the US basically stable coins from the Bitcoin dominance. And you know how we've broken out? We've actually, it's like, oh my God, it's different this time because it's broken out of this multi-year resistance line. When you look at BTC.D minus USDT.D, check this out. We have not broken a damn thing. When you remove the stable coins and you're actually just looking at, I mean, there's still some stable coins in this, but USDT is so large that just removing this, look at this. we're sitting at that same trend line that we broke out on Bitcoin dominance by looking
Yeah.
at everything. Look, we're literally just testing this right now as this is rounding over. I do think, and I think you hit the nail on the head, Drew. I was on a Spaces the other day talking with Dave Weisberger and Wolf Financial and a bunch of guys. I feel like there's a lot of people that are expecting this capital rotation that we've seen the last two cycles. But the last two cycles, they're so different from each other. It's hard to even look at this one with an analog of that, because the first altcoin cycle, we had the 2017 ICO craze.
Right.
And then we had the introduction of, the popularity of NFTs and the metaverse. Then and now you have a somewhat, I don't want to say entrenched, but for lack of a better term, somewhat entrenched altcoin class within the crypto industry.
Yeah.
But also real development. It's not just promises anymore, which is what 2017 was. And then it was hope in 2019. And now it's like, oh shit, there's real development going on. There's real things going on in this space. And there's communities. There's so much going on within the space. We're seeing, the advent of NVIDIA and the delivery on that. I mean, they're sold out. I forget what it's called. Whatever that badass computer, he disappeared. Whatever the badass computer is, there he is. Whatever the badass computer, Blackwell, I think it is, or something. NVIDIA just released. It's almost like a GPU supercomputer that they're sold out for the next 12 months already. And so
absolutely. And then we have the Elon Musk.
Hold on a sec. We just saw Tesla last night with all of this AI. I think AI is overvalued as some people think it is. I think there's going to be even if it's speculative, I think there's going to be such a narrative push with that that I would feel remiss if I didn't just educate people on making sure you have some exposure, not just to one. Don't put yourself in that, but this market's going to explode. What do you feel about the AI narrative this cycle?
No, yeah, I mean, we're underselling it, man. Like, we had a massive kind of preemptive snapshot of what this AI market is going to look like in March of 24. And really, we saw 10Xs, 20Xs across the board on AI tokens. It was up to people that held those tokens to take profit, which I do scream from the top of the rooftops when you hit those levels to make sure I paid myself big after the NVIDIA conference in 2024. We have another one coming up in 25. And as you highlighted, man, that mainstream media release of the Wii robot, it is going to drive an absolute fever pitch for the average, person. Once Bitcoin accomplishes beyond its all-time highs and they're already too late on Bitcoin, they'll look at the Bitcoin graph like, well, how in the hell am I going to afford a $100,000 token? What is this AI coin? Wow, it's got a partnership with NVIDIA, etc. And I've already heard it from Larry Fink. They already plan on spending $10+ trillion on data centers to handle AI. They are pushing this into reality. It's going to happen. They're going to print the money to make it happen. And it's all about competitiveness against China and their data throughput capabilities that they have already. So, I don't see America just rolling over and be like, all right, China, you can control the GPU markets. You can corner the markets. We'll just sit back and let you enjoy this new technology. America is going to go into a new deal, and they're going to spend $10-20 trillion on data centers. Private GPU companies are going to absolutely explode if they can offer the GPU bandwidth capacity to these organizations. It's going to create something that we could only imagine. It's really hard to put a cap on how large the AI, crypto, and just the basic AI stock market is going to grow from what's around the corner with us. Because the idea that America is just going to lay down and let China dominate on a data center, a data throughput capacity is insanity to me. America is still the world dominating currency. They still control financial markets in a very, very large way. And the only way to, dethrone the US from that is militarily. And it's not looking like that's going to happen anytime soon. So I'm very, very excited about the positioning that we have right now. And honestly, with as many altcoins as I do have, I'm feeling underexposed. That's why I've been putting my leverage trading hat back on. It's right in chaos, obviously, with the market chop, but I mean, we're still holding on to this. I'm long from 59.3, and I'm up 120% on a $1,000 trade on 24x leverage right now, and I'm just looking to print my own damn tether and go in there and buy my favorite altcoins with it. It's pretty exciting.
So I agree on all of it, man. Are you at all fearful? I mean, I think you're right about a little bit of the uncertainty with what's happening going up, because this is the first election cycle
Mm-hmm.
that crypto's really a part of it, meaning that it's
Mm-hmm.
in the discourse of some of the potential regulatory considerations. I mean, it's discussed,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Trump was at the Bitcoin rally. We saw, I saw him live speaking about this, and they talk about it on somewhat a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
Um, are you at all worried that everybody? Because I was talking last night with Bar Chart and BAM Investor, both
Mm-hmm.
huge accounts, and they've been in markets for years. That on the one hand, this everything's so bullish, and there is a little bit, I don't want to say fear, but it's like, man, like all the data I just went through is so bullish that makes you
Yeah,
wonder, is it ripe to, what if we have like a 3-year period that we don't get the blow off like we expected, and we just have a weird sort of market until it resolves, and the buying pressure, the institutions have finally accumulated enough, and then it runs away? Is that a possibility in your mind? Do
very
you
much
just
so.
think the pressure's too strong, it can't happen?
No, very much so. I mean, really, I am not prescribing to the idea that we're going to have a blow off top at the end of 2024 like we have previous markets. I think that
2024,
thinking, or
2025.
2025, I meant to say, just in that mindset, that'd be like shooting fish in a barrel for us, crypto degens that have been following the 4-year cycle and know it pretty darn well by now. And if I am BlackRock, a manager of $10 trillion or 11 trillion, whatever it is,
11.5.
and yeah, I mean, it's a lot of money. If I'm standing to be outperformed by a bunch of crypto degens that have been sitting on this stuff and they're just going to time out the market top perfectly, and they're all looking at October for 2025, me personally, if I'm Larry Fink, I'm shifting right about 2 months before that. I'm going to cut it just a little bit short. Then they'll all hammer in, expecting it to finally reach that blow off top at the end of 2025. And I'm thinking and I'm speaking theoretically and honestly in a nefarious mindset, because I don't think these money market managers have our best interest in mind. I would be cutting that short, and that's why I am laddering out in sections of 25% beginning in May. So 25% at a time beginning May of 2025. I don't think it's going to be just shooting fish in a barrel and nailing the top perfectly, because a lot of it's just too common knowledge that, the first cycle peaked in December, or the second rather, the third cycle peaked in November. This time it's going to be October, right? It just can't, it never is that simple. And we have this monster of finance, which is BlackRock, which is Wall Street, which is the American financial institution economy, that is now involved with it in a very tangible way. And I think that they're going to throw us a curveball or a changeup during this 2025 timeframe. The getting will be absolutely very, very good. But I am, I've made my mind up. And, there might be things on top of that. We've seen Berkshire Hathaway unloading stock holdings. We've seen people that hold Berkshire stock also unloading. One of the most sought after stocks on the planet. They're like $620,000 a unit. We're seeing major money market makers insulate themselves, and historically, you got about 18 months, 12 to 18 months until things get bad. When you see these institutional money like Tim Cook, Warren Buffett, all these major names in finance, when they start closing the hatches to their financial corridors, and they're not completely closed as it sits right now, but they are starting to close certain hatches. I think they're getting ready for something very, very. I don't want to be too scary here, but I think it's going to be a very, very disruptive moment. And I think that
Well,
they're going to
you
be,
know, on that point, you know, I don't want to be fear monger either or buy into that, but I have to be aware of it. You see all these billionaires across the U.S., all these headlines of them building multi-million dollar bunkers 25 feet
yeah,
underground. You're like, all right, what's going on, man?
yeah. It really makes you think. And just seeing seeing their actions, I am taking extra precautions. I've always been a prepper, but the precautions beyond that are also just protecting the gains that I have, not being left on the sidelines waiting for that final push up at the end of 2025 that might damn well never come. And I was talking to Piano Matty B this morning about it. Once these markets see a 20 or 30% pullback, when we are at these amazing, $150,000 per Bitcoin levels, and they're losing billions of dollars on that pullback, they're not used to that. So the snowball effect of exits from these ETFs and from these financial items that they've opened up to Bitcoin might actually accelerate at a pace that we aren't quite used to, because these are larger piles of cash held by more conservative investors. So when they do see that 20 to 30% pullback, better buckle up, because it's a fast ride once the snowball effect starts rolling. So, and that being said, where I'm looking for, I was talking to Penny Manny B about this. I left a line at $17,000 on Bitcoin's blow-off top in 2017, and that was the line in the sand where I was going to back the truck up for this current cycle that we're in right now. I did so. It was a great move, great buy. But I have that same style of mindset and line on my trading view that's sitting at $69,000. And I am waiting for that line to be accomplished somewhere around 2027. I know I'm looking far out, but I've done this before. It works like a charm. I've seen multiple cycles, and I think there's going to be a big pullback after this blow off top. And a lot of people are going to say, no, it's never going to go that level because, Wall Street's here and everyone's already here. We are just getting started with this. Like, we cannot start talking about a $500,000 Bitcoin until 2028. And then beyond that, into the 2030s, we'll be messing around trying to get to $1 million per coin level. But yeah, I mean, that's just my overall game plan. Kind of a lot of a game plan, but there it is.
I mean, at minimum, we're excited.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
and I'm finally getting to the point where the 7 months, I do feel like, it did wear on us all. Everybody, if you've been frustrated, throw a one in chat. We all have. But the market can't just go straight up, because then it goes straight down. That's the first case. The second case is, with the number of capital channels that we've added to this market in the last year, it's unprecedented. This is the most asymmetric opportunity we've ever had, meaning there's more risk of you not participating than, it might go down. Well, if it goes down, add more to your position. This is not financial advice. This is strategy advice. Just looking at what's going on in this market and the type of players getting involved. They only get involved with sure things, right? And so I'm excited, and the signs and signals, the time frame of where we're at post halving, the amount of consolidation we've had. It's an exciting time. Now, Drew, where can they find you, other than when I redirect everybody to your stream right after this?
No, I appreciate it, and it's awesome to be able to work with you and have that kind of rolling community going on, man. I'm on Twitter at Druth Crypto, and Blockchain Basement is my YouTube channel. And yeah, man, you'll be seeing kind of different type of content. I'm a gardener. I have lots of animals on my property, and I definitely spend a lot of time shooting and just doing kind of northwestern Georgia stuff. But I'm loving the Georgia outfit.
You and I may be doing something regarding crypto and
Yes.
something regarding some firearms and
Yes,
something
we
regarding
can't give
some
it
price
away.
targets.
Don't give it away. Don't give it away. We're gonna come out with it. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be the best. Believe me. But yeah, I'm thinking next week is looking pretty good for that, man. So everyone keep an eye out for it. But I'm gonna go get ready for the show, man. Everyone out there, thank you for being on the show. I'll let you finish up. I'm going to go get our studio ready to go. And I got a lot to talk about with this AI stuff. So it's going to be
Well,
a good
let's
one.
do it. I love you, brother. It's always so fun working with you, and I'm glad that we got the communities that we're building. And so many of you, if any of you out there watch Blockchain Basement, throw a 333 in chat, because I know there's a lot of you. We're a community here. We're going to be
That's right.
redirecting to you here in a little bit, but I'll see you after your show, brother.
All right, brother. Take care.
Adios, my friend. Everybody, make sure everybody, make sure you're giving Druth Crypto at Druth Crypto a follow. And again, just reminder, we get so locked into the small time frames and all the noise. This is what we're looking at. A rejection like we've seen in all previous cycles. Let's actually zoom out so you can see this yellow, a rejection at this particular band. The blue is a consolidation. And then the green is the breakout, which is a parabola. The rejection, the consolidation, the breakout, rejection, consolidation with the black swan, still a breakout. The rejection, the consolidation, and the breakout. We are primed, and this is based on the same metric that called where we would be rocketing soon. This move right here that this is outlining, just to put it in perspective, is essentially this move right here. It's this right here. This is where that on-chain metric, this is that FTX collapse. This is a breakout, the retest launch, okay? FTX collapse, the breakout retest. This was, hey, bull, ultra bull starting soon. This was that move. And now the same thing is saying that we've had the test, we've had the consolidation somewhere in this zone, like we have been outlining for months since April 19th. This box right here that we are in the middle of at this moment. We pushed up into this. I said, this was back here, April 19th. I said, let's watch for a post 160 days. Look at this. We have it lined up right here. This 160 days and the 100 and this was that mark. We're now 100 and let's go to the daily. We are now 175 days in. The market's a little more mature. It's taking a couple days longer, and we're being impatient right now. We have a very contentious thing going on in the U.S. right now. And the U.S., for lack of a better way to define it, the U.S. has a very major role in defining what the direction and what the strength of capital markets are globally. We have a major event happening that is, I think, shaking a little bit of the certainty of what's happening with the markets. We got CPI data the other day that was still trending down, but didn't meet expectation. But we do have the PPI and other indexes do show that there are core inflation, some other things that the issue's not solved. We have another FOMC meeting coming up next month, 2 days after the election, which is going to determine the next rate cut, a pause, whatever. But I do think that the election is a bigger factor of what's going on right now, in addition to the fact that we had two economic catastrophes happening across Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina with Hurricane Helene. And now we just had Hurricane Milton. Everybody, there's some concern about, and then we also had the port strike, which happened, but then it got delayed to January. And we have everything going on geopolitically, and everybody's wondering, where is the certainty in markets? Man, we got some uncertain shit going on the world over right now. And it makes sense that although we are seeing incredible strength in some markets, and we've seen, for instance, in the S&P 500 versus Bitcoin chart, which I've been sharing with you on a regular basis, which is this chart right here, we can see that this has been performing up while Bitcoin's been a little bit more reluctant to absolutely just run away. But the S&P 500 isn't in debate about what the direction of regulation is going to be in this election. Bitcoin is. This is also consolidating on a 4-year cycle at previous all-time high, where the S&P 500 has just been running away with what we've seen. And a lot of the developments with things like NVIDIA, and Apple, and, just monster growth in different sectors, but Bitcoin's not running away yet. But we're starting to see that roundingness, the low, lower low, all of a sudden higher low, all of a sudden currently still, it may change, still a much higher low setting up, not defined yet. But we are in for an incredible market. We just need to get stop distracted by the noise. When we look at the others chart, this is the total market cap minus the top 10. We've been talking about this for some time. We do have actually, I didn't even notice this, a shoulder, inverted head and shoulder here that's forming. This is a shoulder. This is a head. Are we forming a shoulder right here? We have to pay attention. Excuse me. We have to pay attention to this, but as it stands, we are still in process of potentially forming this. If this happens, that is incredibly bullish. As it stands, we did break out of this downward channel that we've been in since March. We have retested it. We're still holding this level. If we can push up, then things are going to be incredibly bullish. But I don't know what I'm talking about at all, which is why sometimes I bring on some other people in the world, and that is our main guy right here, Mr. Matthew Hyland. That is not Drew. Let's pull up the correct nameplate. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, Kelly? I saw you and Drew streaming before, so I thought I'd hop in, and then he ended up leaving, so now I'm here. So
no, it's perfect. He has a show that's directly after this, so this is perfect timing. I actually was going to message you to bring you on today because you got some magic to share. Let me go ahead and assign your chart. That's your chart that you can see everybody on the screen. You see how it just moves and oscillates? That's not it.
Yeah,
this is the magic cool right here. So what are you looking at?
All right. So for me, the past few days or weeks or whatnot, I've been watching this 43 SMA for a while. And it's because every single time we've gone below this 43 SMA, we ended up putting in our next low. So if you look back here, we closed below and then we end up making the low eventually. Close back here, end up making this low down here, close back here, made the next low down here, closed over here, made this low. The first invalidation or time it failed was back here. We went below it, but then went above it, right? And then we came back down, used it as support once again. But yesterday we closed below it, but now we're seeing it above. But now I'm thinking, right, this might have actually been a higher low right here. And then also this might have been a higher low also right here, potentially. The other SMA that I've been using is the 10 SMA. And usually when let me remove the 43 now. So usually when we're above the 10 SMA, we usually kind of trend upward. It's not as clear and concise as the 43 SMA. But when we get above it, we usually trend upward. Like right here, we were above it. We rode it up this whole way. And currently, we were rejected off of it a few times here, but we're currently getting above it. And you've noticed too, this SMA is starting to move up slightly. But we'll see how this daily candle ends up closing. That's more significant. But this daily candle is pretty nice today, but we'll see if it can close. It really needs to close above this 61.5K, which we're well above right now. If it can do that, that'd be quite significant for Bitcoin and the whole space. And if you go back to even last year, around this time last year, we saw this exact, almost similar setup as well, where we broke above the 10 SMA here. And even if you look at this 43 SMA, it kind of did something similar. I posted a chart about this or a video about this a few days ago. It kind of actually got above, then went back below, or it never closed above. But this was also very similar, where we came back above, we retested the 43 SMA, and then we broke to the 10 SMA, and then we were off. It could potentially happen again, but we'll see. So this whole space does look interesting right now. And you were looking at the others chart, and that is a head and shoulders pattern, actually. If I go over to, let me see, let me find others right here. I actually have had this drawn out too. I drew this out the other day. This is potentially a huge inverse head and shoulders for the altcoin market. I'd say if we can get above this 226 billion right here, you could say that this is a little mini double bottom on this right shoulder. You get above here. So if you get above 226 billion, this might be the start of a move up to this neckline. And if we ever break this neckline, I think we're going to be off for the races for the altcoins. So,
well, check this out. I noticed this also because you've been sharing this lately, this sort of, I don't want to call it a fractal, but the way price has played out, not only in leading up to the election, but also like
Yeah.
I shared a chart the other day on my Twitter, which is this one right here, showing October 2023, the first base. It was about 13 days. We had a move that was basically we had a correction to the downside,
Yeah.
minus 7.4%, and then we launched. And the other day we were only minus 5.5. But I was looking at this morning with this wick we just had. We literally have just, if we maintain this will be a ridiculous similarity and correlation, because this is October 1st from the open of this candle. All right, we're not going to take the wick. We're going to take the open of the candle down to that bottom of that wick. That is a 7% move to the downside. It's so similar. It's eerie. It's kind of like there's no way this is going to be exact like we saw in
No, yeah, I agree. I was looking at that exact same move as well recently, so I did see that as well, and it's just crazy how like it seems to be setting up almost identically to how it was last year and all these years heading into the election, and I guess we're gonna find that soon. I think we're super close. It's just I would say we just need that candle. There's gonna be a day at some point and we're just gonna see like a $5,000 move, and then you'll know like okay this might be it. But this really today we're already up. If you look at this from this wick below, we're already up $3,000. So this is a pretty sizable move. We haven't had that much, I'd say, in a daily candle in a while. Maybe back here actually we did see that, but if we can get like a even larger candle today, that would be beautiful. It'd be more I'd say like decisive, because like if you just look back here to last year, that's what we got. And then we kind of knew there, like Bitcoin went from, this was the day there was a fake report that the ETF had gotten approved last year, but we saw a candle from around 27K. It went all the way up to around 30K, which was over a 10% move. And then from there, it started to move up after that. It held like this for a few days. It consolidated, and then it started to move up. So it's definitely just very interesting with the timing and everything, especially as we head into the election, which is only now, 3 weeks away or 4 weeks away. We're very close now. So, and we've been talking about this all summer, it feels like, and waiting. And we're so close now where we're finally going to get past the election. And I think either way, regardless of who wins, I think the markets just like certainty. And right now it's just so much uncertainty. We don't know if Gary Gensler is going to stay for the long term. We don't know if he's going to get fired. Once when the market knows either way, I think it'll actually like it. So I do think after November, I think we'll start to see more upside, especially with the stock market continuing to make higher highs almost every single week. It seems like it is hard to say here, like in being crypto for the last 6 months, when the stock market has just continued to go higher and higher, and a bunch of stocks are making new highs, while the whole crypto space has been like a slow death, it feels like, and Bitcoin just really hasn't been doing much. So,
yeah, it feels like it hasn't been doing
eventually.
much. But on the same time, I was talking with on our spaces last night with Bam Investor. He goes, "Man, we're sitting here saying it hadn't done much, and it's done 5 or 6 20% moves down and then back up. So that's 12 moves, right, in 7 months that are massive swings on a percentage basis. But man, yeah, I agree with you. And that doesn't even include, okay, there's some uncertainty about the government holding 69,000 Bitcoin. Are they going to sell after that case? But then the flip side of that, that's 4 billion. But then the flip side of that is we have 16 billion that just got approved to Bit and stablecoins, not crypto, but stablecoins that is going to get redeployed back to crypto focused participants that get their capital back on around December 7th. So do you think that could create a little bit of a positive sort of buoy in the market? Or do you think that's going to just be, we'll trade it once we see how it's deployed?
I think that will actually play a slight effect. I think, we'll see probably a lot of people take that money. It's in stable, right? Or US dollar.
Yes, it's in stable coins.
Yeah. So that would we'll probably see like a little, I think we'll get a little boost from that overall. But I think the last few days was largely because of the approval that they can sell the Bitcoin. So now that actually once again puts an even larger focus on the election, because now if Trump were to win, because he had already announced that if he wins, that they're going to put that Bitcoin into the reserves. We saw that at Bitcoin Nashville. He had announced that. So now there's even that now. So a lot of people like Bitcoin really, in my opinion, wouldn't be too affected regardless by who won. And overall, even if those Bitcoin do get sold, the market will probably absorb them. But as we saw in August when Germany sold the 50,000, we saw that August crash at the start of August, which was when Bitcoin went down to 49,000. So the market would actually have to absorb even more Bitcoin. This would be a larger supply of Bitcoin if it were to get sold. You would think, though, they would at least try to sell some of it over the counter. Maybe they've done that in the past. I know when what's that guy's name? Mark Draper or Tim Draper?
Tim Draper, yeah.
When he bought his Bitcoin back in, I think, 2013 from the U.S. government, it was over the counter. But that was Bitcoin. That was a smaller. I mean, it was a big buy. It was, I think, millions of dollars or like $100 million he spent. But this is a much larger amount now. Like 70,000 Bitcoin is what almost. I don't have the number off the top of my head, but it has to be like in the billions, multi-billions, right? So I don't think it would be harder to find a buyer that would step up and just buy it all over the counter. I think they would do like a bidding process. That's what they did last time. Hopefully we don't have to go there. Hopefully we don't see a sale of it before the election. The election takes place and then it gets put into the reserve for the long-term holdings. And then
but then on the flip side of that, do you think that there's any spite in our government where Trump wins and they're like, you know what, we lost, so who cares? Let's sell this because since he's a Bitcoin pro guy. Or is that just not something to worry about because there's nothing we can do about it?
That could happen, and I think I don't know like the technical like legals by any means, but I know that because the Supreme Court ruled that they can sell it, I don't see how it can get appealed. I think the Supreme Court is like the final say. So I don't think there's any way for them to like appeal it or anything and say like, hey, hold it up or freeze it or something, or tie it up in the courts until January. So that is possible theoretically. Yeah, they could be spiteful and just dump it or sell it. Who knows? Hopefully, we'll hope for the best, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just I tried to temper how excited I am for this market because I've been in 3 cycles now. And on the one hand, I'm more confident than ever. And on the other hand, I do realize anytime I lose humility in any situation, that's when wreckage happens. So I am prepared. I am prepared if the market goes down and we get a washout down to 43,000 or something like that. We test a 200-day, maybe a little bit above the golden pocket, maybe right at the previous. If it happens, it happens. I'll be frustrated with the engagement side of stuff, being a content creator, but either way, I do think that the result over the next 12 months will be to the upside, regardless of the noise between now and when it happens.
I wonder, I mean, I know like the German government I think they were just selling it on the market, like just doing market sellers. I would think the US would be, I mean, I hope they wouldn't sell it like that, but I would think they would do it over the counter or at least some sort of bidding process or something, maybe because you're affecting US investments at that point, like with the Bitcoin ETF and stuff. There could be like lawsuits back against the US government from something like that. I'm not really sure, but it would be kind of the US government getting involved in something that's now listed on the stock market. I think there would be some sort of potential backfire, backlash, or lawsuit potentially out of that. And in the past, like I said, they did do an auction over the counter, so they didn't just sell it on the open market. But it's a much larger amount of Bitcoin now. But there's also much larger buyers in the market as well, so they could potentially offset that.
It's just it's an exciting time to be alive. I was talking yesterday about how I historically over the last few years, I really enjoy really good TV series and movies, and the news cycle involving digital assets, but also just the world geopolitics. At night, I'm just like, it's like watching reality TV. There's so much exciting things going on, but now with all this craziness. We also have this asset class that's kind of outside the system, but it's kind of somewhat being co-opted. But it's just an exciting time, and I'm so happy you hopped in here and we could chat a bit and share some more of your charts. But we got to wrap this up. We got to shoot everybody over to the blockchain basement. You got anything fun going on this weekend?
Maybe, but I don't want to talk about it on stream.
Oh, that's good.
Well,
everybody, make sure you go and give Matthew Hyland a follow. It's at Matthew Hyland, 2 T's, as you see there, _ at Matthew Hyland. He's got a YouTube channel as well. He puts out content regularly on Twitter as well as videos.
Yeah.
Make sure you give him a follow. He's a wealth of information. Thank you for popping on today, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's good.
Of course. Now, everybody, I did do a little comment there in the live chat. If you're watching here on YouTube, you can just copy paste that. Let's go, and I'll just spam the live chat on Blockchain Basement right after this. Go show some love to Drew. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. It's getting exciting. Remember to step outside of the charts. Remember to find gratitude. Send some love and prayers to Tater for the surgery she's having. And I love each and every one of you. Let's make sure that we're taking advantage of what we got going on here. If you are watching, let's go ahead. Before we do that, I got to see if we have to do we have to do one giveaway, but let's make sure we might have to do a double giveaway. So let's check. I don't know why the video, well, only 18. So only one giveaway. So it's 3 and 24. So it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's Wednesday. And then 3 divided by 24. Let's do that. Those are the two numbers you guys gave me. 3 divided by 24 is 8. So it's going to be the 8th person on there. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. What was the date on Wednesday? Let's look at the date. Date on Wednesday was the 9th. So scrolling back here on my stream so you can see it. October 9th. Here we go. Now let's see where that it is right here. The 8th person. So go to view post engagements, repost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Big Wick energy in the house. I'll get on with you offline. Now, everybody, again, let's go over to Blockchain Basement. Let's spam that message right there. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for all the love and support. Make sure you're protecting yourself. You're trading to make money, but you're also, the biggest component of that is making sure you're not getting over allocated. You're protecting your capital, and you're not trading your whole portfolio. I love you guys. Make sure you sign up if you want to join our free traders group. It is directly below the video right here. Free traders group. Click on that link. If you're watching on Twitter, it is directly below as well. There's also that link for 4 months free. 4 months free for NordVPN to protect yourself in these crazy times. As you can see right here, did I not post it today? This is today. Let me go ahead and post this. It'll be directly below this in the comments. Here we go. I'm going to post both of them together just so you got both links right there if you want to sign up for our free traders group or for NordVPN. Those are the two links. I love you guys. Let's head over to Blockchain Basement. Let's go spam the chat. Show some love. Have a wonderful weekend. Adios, muchachos.